Hey, what's going on? Coach Hapa here from the DJCoach.com. Today we're talking about beat matching. We're going to show you how to mix today and take two songs. In fact, we're going to take two songs that are within the same BPM range, which I think the best place to start here is to remember that every song has an original BPM, has a default BPM value. So it'd be important to figure out whether or not your songs are compatible by first starting with the BPM. And I have a general rule of thumb, which is beats per minute should be plus or minus 4. So if I have a song that is 120, that would mix well with anything, potentially would mix well with anything from 116 to 124. Anything that I'm stretching too far outside of that, and it's going to be a little bit harder to beat match. It's also going to maybe distort the sound a little bit, change the vibe of the song. And maybe you want to do that, but I'm just giving you sort of a general rule of thumb that I have, plus or minus 4. So let's switch over to my computer here. You'll see I have two songs from the French House Pack that you can download from the Hercules website. There's a ton of music that's there that you can actually access, which is great. Free for you to access as well. So we're going to use Le Club Rouge, and we're also going to use Loopy. You'll notice that Le Club Rouge is 122 beats per minute, and Loopy is 120 beats per minute. And we're just going to use these two examples to be able to show you how I can beat match with these two. Now, the first thing, I'm going to show you two ways to beat match. The first one that I'm going to show you is by using beat sync. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put these two at the very beginning, and we're going to try to play them at the same time. Now, because they're both different tempos, I've got one that's at 120 and one that's at 122. You'll hear what starts to happen here. Here we go. It sounded crazy, right? Okay, so if I go ahead and hit beat sync, it fixed it. Right, so just this one button, this is what I was talking about before, by just hitting a button, it's going to sync it all together. Now, this is also assuming that the grid is correct. Let's not worry about that quite yet. We don't want to open up more problems yet. Just know that in a simple way, me hitting beat sync should line the tracks up where I don't have to worry about it as much. If you notice that even when you hit beat sync, it still sounds like what that sounded like, it's probably because the grid is wrong. So now let's try this again. Let me take I'm going to take sync off now. And actually, let me put sync back on. I'm going to play these two at the same time. And I've actually got them both synced now. So sync is on both sides. Now when I move the tempo fader, you'll see that it's moving them together. I'm just moving one tempo fader, and it's moving them both together at the same time, which that's actually a pretty cool feature by having sync on. All right, so let's go ahead and take sync off. I'm going to reset everything to put it back to its original tempo. So get everything back at its original tempo. So I've got 122 and 120 on this side. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to turn on my beat match guide. So I'm going to turn that on. So when it's lit up, it means that it's on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by playing the one on the left side. Song's playing on the left side. On the right side, it's telling me which way to move my tempo fader. This little arrow right here is now telling me red. So I'm going to move it this way to bring the tempo up. Now it's telling me to go back a little bit. Now it's dead on. It had both arrows, showed me both arrows, which means that it's good, which means that it's at close, 122.0 and 121.9 essentially. That's going to be right there. And so now, when I start to play the song, I'm going to bring the song in. It's now telling me I need to move by using the side of the platter to realign the beat grid, to realign the track. Pretty cool, right? So if I go too far, it's going to tell me to go this way. Having that little guide is incredibly helpful. This is a really, really helpful technique to have, and a great feature inside of the Hercules DJ Control Impulse 200 MK2. It's a mouthful. It's a mouthful. So now I'm going to show you another option, which is pulling out the headphones. Because honestly, music is heard, not necessarily just seen. So I've got to be able to use my ears. I'm going to plug my headphones in. And when I put my headphones on, I want you to take a look at this here. I've got one ear in and one ear out. So I want to be able to hear the world around me. Now keep in mind with this particular exercise and what I'm showing you, I'm not worried too much about phrasing right now. We're just focused on beat matching. Phrasing is a whole other thing, and that is trying to figure out when you should be getting in and out. And I spend a lot of time in my own coaching really focused on that. And even in my own like preparation of tracks. That's a huge part of it, is figuring out how am I getting in and out. Right now, we're just talking about beat matching, which is aligning the beats. All right, so here's what I'm going to do is now that I have the headphones in, I've got a volume control for my headphones right here, so I don't want it to be too loud. And then I also have a little headphone icon underneath each filtered knob here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this headphone on because I'm going to be playing this song. So as this song is playing, I actually have the ability of controlling what you're hearing as the audience. So I'm going to turn down the volume all the way. So in this case, I can actually hear this in my ear. You can't hear it out there because I haven't brought the volume up. Now you can hear it, right? So this gives me an incredible advantage to be able to make changes and audition the song before I actually play it live. So as this song is playing, and I'm getting ready to bring the song in, let's say I bring it in here. That came in good. I can hear that it's good. I'll bring this up. Good. If for some reason when I brought this in, it was off, I can fix it in my ear and then bring the song up. This way, everything that's coming off the speaker sounds good, and you're not showing all of your blemishes by using the headphone feature. The pre-cue is what we like to call this. So this is a really, really great way of getting started when it comes to manual beat matching. And maybe in terms of the steps and the order of the steps, start with using the beat sync button first. No shame whatsoever in using the beat sync button. But know that just like with training wheels, you are maybe not going to stay on training wheels forever. The goal is to be able to get comfortable enough to then be able to try to break out of that comfort zone. In that case, then I would start using the beat match guide. That's the second step up. The beat match guide will be incredibly helpful for telling you which way to go, what to do, speed up, slow down. It's like your little person that's coming along with you in your ear telling you where to go. And then the third step would be to then turn off the beat match guide altogether, just use your ears and really be able to perfect your ability to fine tune your beat matching ability. I hope you found this helpful. We'll see you on the next one.